Okay, we're live. How much of your financial numbers should you share with your team, with your employees? Do you take the stand as a CEO, entrepreneur, business owner that I'm not sharing anything with them, or are you at the other extreme where you're sharing? Some persons are in the middle ground. This is what we are talking about for the next few minutes today. So if you are hopping on, please share, say hello, share where you're joining from in the comments. You never know who might see you and okay, want to connect as well. And again, if you do have any questions, of course, let me know in the comments or you can ask them after. That's quite fine as well. So we did a poll last week. I think we did a poll, and the poll was about how much of your financial numbers do you share, and the results were pretty, even. Some persons were like, I share my sales. Some persons where I share nothing. Some persons where I share my sales and my profit. So the results were pretty interesting. And as CEOs, entrepreneurs, business owners, it is important that you understand, the dynamics of when you share certain numbers with your team or employees, what can likely happen. If you don't share, what can likely happen as well. And I always like to, refer to an analogy or, compare to something. So if you think about when there's like an army, right? And they're getting ready for war, that they have to know certain of the key strategies, what is expected of them as soldiers going to fight the enemy, right? They're not just led there blindly, like go fight, right? There are steps before, and there is, interaction, and the soldiers are very much aware of what might happen, what might not happen, what should they do in the event of this or that. In the same way, when you have also a team like a sports team, basketball team, they go to play with a strategy. They are knowing, okay, this might happen. If this happens, this is what we should do. This is what we've learned about our opponent. These are the strength of my team members. So they get into all that strategy, and there's a reason for that. There's a science behind that, because the more they are knowing and understanding the dynamics of their other team members and also their opponents, then they can, play accordingly. And there's a more practical strategy, a more winning strategy that can be adopted as well. So when it comes to sharing your financial numbers with your employees, with your team members, it is important that you think about the impact that it can have. And again, this depends on how your business is, the relationship you're having with your team. But I do suggest that sharing at least the top line, the sales, right, is very beneficial. So and there are different ways to do this. So it's not just to say this is the sales we made. There's a strategy behind that. And it's always important to see what is that strategy going to look like, what strategy will work based on the relationship I'm having with my team, and so forth and so on. So one of the ways in which you could share your numbers, the sales, the top line at least, is to say, okay, these are the goals that we have for this year. We want to reach 2 million in sales. We want to reach 5 million in sales, right? And again, if the team are, understanding of this goal and know, okay, this is the goal. And also, not only that, this is the goal of the company, but how does it impact me? What does it mean for me as a team member, as an employee? What does that goal really mean for me? So one of the ways to make that connection is to say, okay, it's to first understand not only what the company goals are, but also connect with your team, connect with your employees. What are their goals, right? What are their insights on the goals of the company? So for example, you could say, okay, what are your goals? What do you have in mind for this year? We want to reach this amount of sales. And also, if we do reach this amount of sales, how will it benefit them? What's going to be the impact on them? Will they get a bonus? Will they get an incentive? What does that look like? What does that connection look like? And when they are seeing that connection and the impact that meeting these goals will have on them, not only in the whole realm of the company, but personally, then most times they are more likely to have that vested interest into helping the company to reach that goal, make those sales goals for sure. So that is one reason why it is important to show your team, your employees, at least a top line, the sales. And some persons might be like, I don't want them to know, but to be honest, depending on the team you have, the employees you have, they can figure it out, right? They are able to say, okay, I can see based on this job, I know what the price is. They can really, dive in and figure it out, have an estimate as well. So you might say that as the CEO, the owner, the leader, that I'm not going to share anything, but oftentimes they can do figure it out. So do bear that in mind. And also, you want to make sure when you're operating and spearheading your company, your business, that you are not on the journey alone, right? It is so important that you connect with your team, you connect with your employees, and they are really able to understand what is happening in the business. And you're not going to divulge everything, but I mean, they're on the ground. A lot of times our team members, our employees, they know what's happening. They are on the ground, they're in the day-to-day operations. They can know, okay, you know, you know, I think something is happening financially, something is not looking right. They can pick things up easily at times, depending on where they're at and what they're seeing for sure. So I do suggest that at least the top line, they are aware of the sales, and that can be tied to other areas in the business. It can be tied to setting up bonus plans, it can be tied to setting up incentives, and also it gives them that vested interest in the business to see, okay, if I do this for the business, it helps me. I can see where I'm really benefiting from putting in, going the extra mile at times. I can see, and they get excited. We made our goal and we surpassed our goal. It can be an exciting time as well for the team members and the employees. So I do encourage you as entrepreneurs, as CEOs, business owners, that you do consider sharing at least the sales, the projections, the actual results with your team members. And when we talk about financial numbers, there's a whole world of different types of financial numbers, but that is often a very good start to to share. And what I do sometimes is that we set up like charts and graphs, so they can see what was the budget, did we make the budget, getting the team involved depending on the dynamics of what's happening with the company. So that is one thing we do at times, because I find it has been beneficial as well, because they're able to see a part of the picture of what is really happening in the company, what is really happening in the business. And they are really able to connect and see this might change. They'll even give suggestions. The dynamics does change when you get your team, when you get your employees involved in certain areas in the business. I've seen it over and over and over. So yeah, so if you do have any questions, you let me know. You can put them in the chat, or you can inbox me, or even send me an email, whichever. Send me a text or even a phone call, whatever works for you. So do remember that sharing your financial numbers with your team, with your employees, can impact the performance of your business. It can impact the results. It can impact the morale as well of your team, productivity. It's amazing. It's like a chain impact, right? A snowball impact, all the various areas that are impacted just by sharing certain financial numbers. So that's our little talk for today. So if you do have any questions, you do let me know. If you are not sure where your business is at in terms of health, I will place the complimentary quiz in the comments, or If you're on Instagram, it's in the link in my bio. You can assess your business quickly and get an idea of how healthy your business is. You get your score right away. So signing off, this is Karsha Campbell. Bye, guys.